Our guest today is Tarik Al-Nakib. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Al-Nakib, and he's the co-owner of Aloha Spine and Joint.
Actually, now called Seven Peaks Health.
Seven Peaks Health. Well, we'll change it.
We'll have to get into that.
We'll change it in post. And so why don't we start by just tell us a little bit about your business and who's your customer? Who do you serve?
Okay, so what we do is we're kind of changing the idea of just a basic chiropractor. In the chiropractic world, you have guys that do cash patients. You just come in, pay whatever, and get adjustments. And then you have the PI world, the personal injury world, which is car accidents. We've kind of changed how we do the car accident side of it. The way the paperwork's done, the way the communication with the attorneys. Long story short, not to make it sound bad, but a lot of attorneys don't have the best interest of the injured party at heart, neither does the insurance company, right? And so we don't milk the patient. We basically put them on a treatment plan. As soon as they're done, we send them on their way with the goal of turning them into a cash patient for maintenance, because, being regularly adjusted is a healthy thing. So we've also developed membership plans that they can come to prepay once a month, and you can come use the active therapy, the lasers, get an adjustment, and so that's kind of what we were doing. We're just kind of changing the way the whole system works.
Awesome.
The patient
you have a few locations in Salt Lake City, right?
Well, that's hence the name change. Yeah, we started in South Jordan with Dr. Ogow. He asked me to get involved with them. He was kind of stuck for 20 years in kind of the old infant stage of business where it was just him. So if he disappeared, company disappeared. So he asked me to help him expand it. And then we got involved with another doctor, Brandon Carter, who's he's an amazing brain. And that's when we became Aloha Spine and Joint, and we opened up a clinic in Linden, southern Utah, or southern from Salt Lake. And about 2 months into that, we got asked by an MD and another guy that had a building that they just purchased in Ogden, which is northern Utah. They saw what we were doing, and we were kind of better than they were, and they didn't want to compete. So we kind of merged with them and took over the ownership of the building and their practice, which is the hard one now, getting it going, because our South Jordan place sees 30 to 35 patients a day with one doc, and we're seeing 3 to 5 up in Ogden. So we got to get that going. So anyway, we merged everything, became Seven Peaks Health. Awesome. And we're implementing everything in all 3 clinics the same. We're standardizing everything.
So was there a specific moment when you decided to become a business owner, or what inspired you to solve this problem specifically? Did anything
Well,
happen?
I decided to do it in high school and just never was supported by the family. Anyway, that's a long story. But having run companies, as you know, for a long time, I've dabbled in stuff. I had a helicopter company back in the early 90s, and we were doing really well until had a hard lesson of, we had a helicopter we leased. They crashed it in Alaska, wasn't totaled. They put it on a trailer crashed, no towing insurance, had no idea to check that, $400,000 write-off, shut down the company. Since 16, I was running one of the biggest flight schools here, and I saw how poorly it was ran, and the owner wouldn't let me make the changes I wanted to make. And, I got the relationship with the FAA really good because they were actually going to have the certificate pulled, and on and on. And I finally, when John came to me, I thought, you know what, I'm kind of done working this hard for other people. So I'm just going to do it again on my own. And it's been good so far.
Yeah, I guess that leads really well into our next question, which is, what's been the biggest challenge with this business specifically that you've had to overcome?
Well, for me, and I think it's a challenge and an advantage. I read a long time ago in college that to be successful in a business, start something you know nothing about, because it forces you to learn, and then you don't get kind of stuck with the stereotypes on how to do things. So that's been kind of a challenge, because I've known nothing about personal injury, nothing, the terms, let alone the chiropractic side, flexion.
That's interesting. It's kind of counterintuitive, but I think it does make a lot of sense to come at old problems with a fresh perspective.
Well, yeah, because with the docs, they'll tell me things, and I'm the one that's going, why? Why do you do it this way? Why can't we do it this way? And a lot of them are like, because it's just not been done that way. Like, great, let's try it.
Awesome.
So it's been a challenge, but it's also, I think, been a good thing.
So one thing we do on this podcast is there's some different options, and we try and put chance into the interview. So this question is about what's your greatest either superpower or weakness, and we flip a coin here. So tails is weakness. So what would you say? What do your employees say about you when you're not in the room?
Well, let's see. What do employees say about me when I'm not in the room? I've been told they miss my sarcasm when I leave. I'm direct. I don't sugarcoat things really well. It's how my grandpa raised me. I just call it like it is sometimes. Probably could maybe be a little more sensitive. But when I see BS, I just flat out call it sometimes. And so
sometimes the weaknesses are strengths.
Yeah, maybe.
So how do you know what a lot of, as we talk to many business owners, what a lot of them struggle with is when is it the right time to grow versus optimize what you have and maintain it? So how do you know when, so you just mentioned that you're doing an expansion. How did you know it was the right time to expand versus you just want to optimize, the business that you already have that's working?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors to that. So we kind of expanded by default a little bit with the opportunity to take over, the building in Ogden, which is real estate. I didn't want to pass that up. And so were we ready to do that one? Not quite, because our Linden office is going to be the model of how we're doing the active therapy, how we're doing a lot of these things. We've joined up with a company called Stroops, the Iron Neck, and they're giving us all this equipment to really produce an active therapy part that a lot of patients don't get. And then, so a lot of times I don't think you should expand until you have all your policies and procedures down and in writing, and you can basically cookie cutter it to the next location. And one's self-sufficient, at least paying the bills, maybe not paying the owners really well, but at least covering all its, overhead. So, but there's also opportunity sometimes that you don't want to miss it, and you got to be, careful, because Ogden right now is basically paying its bills, and as long as it does that until we get up there to really make a lot of changes, we're letting it kind of do its thing.
Awesome. I think that's a good answer. And then something that also comes up a lot is people have trouble managing stress, staying mentally, physically healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some tips that you have for people who are especially solo entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs with small teams that are kind of wearing a lot of different hats? How do they manage that?
I have a doctor that has a problem with this because he can never, in fact, that was him just texting me. He can never stop. So, managing stress, you got to take time away from it. So for me, I do a lot of mountain biking. I go skiing. Like we're open Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then the doctors do their things on Tuesdays and Thursdays as far as notes and getting all that done. So I'll go up skiing, or I'll go mountain biking, or go dirt biking, or something. You got to get out and do something. You got to get it off your brain or drive you crazy, know? And, but it's hard because
balance is hard.
It creeps up into your brain as you're sitting there reading a book. It's like, damn, I didn't do this, or, but it's a stuff. But, as far as physically too, you got to eat right. I mean, you can't just eat out every day. You can't get caught into those traps, I remember when I worked for your dad a long time ago, I hit 220 pounds working down there. And all of a sudden it was like, what the hell happened?
That's what I'm at right
eating
now.
out every damn day, So yeah, it was.
You mean you're not supposed to eat Hot Pockets every day?
Yeah, or the Grand Sierra buffet.
So then this question is, you could give one piece of advice to your former self in a category, and we roll a dice here. and we got a 1. So the category is sales. You could give yourself one piece of sales advice to your younger self, that something you've learned along the way, that you wish
sales?
that you'd known 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
Well, the fact that we were born salespeople. You think it's a skill you have to learn. And the fact of the matter is that it's a natural trait we're all born with. I mean, think about it. You're selling yourself to your mom to get candy, to your spouse to get married, to you name it, an interview, you're selling yourself. So if you can realize that everybody's a salesperson and it's not a bad thing, it's actually an easy profession. It's actually really easy to do, so probably that.
Yeah. So just embrace the parts of ourselves.
Yeah, it's a natural thing.
And so what we always like to end these with, we roll a 20-sided die. And so our platform is My Venture, where you can invest in small businesses. And we like to give everyone who comes on the show a chance to win some free money that they can invest in one of the businesses. So lower numbers are bad, have bad outcomes, and higher numbers are 20. So tell me when to stop here.
Oh, crap. Stop.
All right, 13.
Lucky 13. That's my lucky number.
And you got -2 earlier because you got the weakness. So we're gonna give you $50 to invest in one of the campaigns on the platform,
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. There's a lot of great campaigns on there, and it's a great way to support entrepreneurs and also get a return. The return's not guaranteed. It's as long as the business continues succeeding.
Right.
And that's it. This is the first episode of Bricks and Dragons. So,
nice.
We have 4 more that are filming this week, and we'll be releasing them about once a week. So we really appreciate everyone's time joining us today. And then how can people find you, T? If they're in the market for
here in Utah
therapy, where do they find you?
Well, right now we're redoing the website. That should be out hopefully this week, but it's basically 7 Peaks Health, so if you just Google it, you'll find it. And then we work with a lot of attorneys. So if you're in a car accident, they'll probably send you our way because they like what we're doing.